Hi everybody. Generating images from a text prompt can produce the totally unexpected. Where did this woman come from? And what is that massive camera? As I was experimenting in Midjourney, I knew that specifying a particular camera type could produce a particular stylistic effect. I wanted to see what would come out of adding the words Blackmagic Cinema Camera Photography to my prompt. Blackmagic cinema cameras are a type of digital movie camera. All prompts in this video are version 4 of Midjourney unless otherwise specified. The first prompt I tried: facing camera, detailed face of a lovely Japanese woman, 24 years old, light makeup, insanely detailed, hyper-realistic, feminine, cinematic Blackmagic cinema camera photography. Gave me this regular set of photos. These are lovely photos. I have no complaints about any of them. Note some of the keywords: detailed face of a lovely Japanese woman, light makeup, insanely detailed, hyper-realistic. I find that those terms do provide a very realistic image. I wanted to push the appearance to the extreme and added the following terms to the prompt: full body shot, wearing a headdress of peacock feathers, intricate gold leaf patterns in the background, wide angle shot. Whoa, what happened there? That was totally unexpected, but I loved it, absolutely loved it. Where did the camera come from? I had also used Blackmagic cinema camera photography in the first prompt, but there was no camera. I'm making a guess here based on analyzing the prompt. The wide angle shot expanded the field of view so that the image could include more of the scene. The headdress and background patterns emphasize a certain type of style. Perhaps those combinations with the word Blackmagic cinema camera photography resulted in the camera being included in the scene. I would have never thought of doing that. I added no blemishes to the prompt. I'm fascinated by these images. It's so difficult to choose my favorite. I was still not getting the full body in the frame, even though I had the words full body in the prompt. I modified the prompt to change the aspect ratio from the standard square to 2:3 ratio using -2:3. Spectacular. Look at the camera detail and the peacock feathers. Amazing. I upscaled the first image in the grid. Okay, too many fingers. Midjourney has a problem with fingers. For this series, I don't care about that. There's something exotic about the multitude of fingers. I modified the prompt by removing the first two words, facing camera. That gave me the women in profile, 3/4 pose. Notice how the camera is different in each image. I have to go back through the entire series to see if the camera ever repeats. My God, this is beautiful. Sure, the hands are weird again, but the colors, the fabric, the feathers, the makeup. Let's appreciate the quality of the details. Imagine you are a costume designer. This is a great tool for inspiration. I did a variation on this specific image to get a new grid of 4. I also remastered the previous image. Here we lost the camera. It's still a very stylized photo, especially if you've not seen the other images. But the remaster lacks the essence of the other images. I modified the prompt to have the woman standing in vibrantly colored feathers. On this version, I did not add version 4. I forgot this is a version 3 image. I don't care for the image in comparison to what else we're seeing. I modified the prompt to include legs, feet covered by many vibrantly colored feathers. This is also version 3. I went back to version 4 with this prompt. I did not get the full body shot I wanted, and notice there's no camera. But these are wonderful images. She does not look Japanese, but the style is amazing. Vibrant colors are among my favorite terms when I want a strong pop of color. Here's another set. You will notice that the image does not pick up on all the words in the prompt. Let's linger on these images and enjoy. The palette in this one is lovely. The cool blue with the gold and the variations in the tones of those colors. I still was not getting the background gold leaf tiles, so I added in the style of Gustav Klimt. The cameras are back, along with some amazing fabrics and feathers. Nothing in the style of Klimt, though perhaps a bit, but these are all very similar to earlier. I made variations on this image and upscaled all 4 in the previous grid. Note the camera lens in the headdress. The tattoo on the palm, but we need better fingers. The eyes are too startled, but everything else is amazing. I added one turn to the prompt, low angle, in an attempt to force a different perspective. Let's look at each of these in detail. Superb. Crazy hands, those can be fixed in another tool. Goodness, this is absolutely gorgeous. Some new terms to the prompt. I picked these terms up from the Discord prompt chat forum, and that's a great resource. A beta upscale redo of the last image gave a modification. I prefer not to do the beta upscale redo as it tends to lose essential elements. In this grid, I removed the details about the eyes from the previous prompt. I think these eyes are just as good. There's a quality about the sharpness and depth of field that's different from the others for some reason, though the prompt is the same. Wow. One of my favorites. Again, ignore the fingers. Again, this one has that cool blue and gold palette, but more muted than what we saw earlier. After this image, I thought I had reached the ultimate in this series. I took a break and pursued completely other images. 2 weeks after this original series, I came back and tried again. My restart took a while. I don't have the prompt for these images. It looks like Discord deleted the first 10 minutes of this session for some reason. But I keep copies of all the images I like. This set is very realistic, but too realistic for the style that I have come to enjoy. This image splits the frame for some reason. I had so many options that I didn't try to fix that. These all have a very modern feel, whereas the previous session had more of a 1920s feel to the atmosphere. I found the style of that original session again, but with a variation on the prompt. Is this the first camera on a tripod that we've seen in this older style? Also, she looks pregnant. And look at those feathers. The main change in this series is the addition of the word dieselpunk and changing the woman from Japanese to French, plus the use of pheasant feathers instead of peacock feathers. In the next image, I changed from a French woman to a Latina with incredibly long hair and added vibrant quetzal feathers, mystical goddess of shapes. In the mode for experimentation, I changed the headdress to vibrant skulls and changed from mystical goddess of shapes to horror and face paint. This is macabre and remarkable. The others in this set are a bit less macabre, though this one is demonic. Another variation on the prompt to see the ranges of images that Midjourney would give me with a model having those bizarre cameras. I like the red glow, which is coming from the phrase background of red smoke. The image is not what I intended, but I like how the camera and her hair are reflecting the red light from the background. Here we have a red rim light outlining the subject. Revise prompt. Amazing, even though the image ignores many words in the prompt. Beautiful, though we saw something very similar in the earlier session. The next three images are variations of this image. At this point, I experimented with nationality and the components of the headdress and backgrounds. Very dark tones, appropriate for black magic. The feathers are insanely detailed, and I like the face paint. The color palette shifts to a majestic gold, and that headdress and the background feathers as if she had rings to go along with the 8 fingers on her right hand. And the upper left arm and shoulder are flawed. I did another set, adding the word pregnant. Another set, but this time with the intention of removing terms from the prompt to measure the impact. In these are no background specified and no longer pregnant. I also remastered this image. And in the remaster, I lost the camera. The camera has become one of my favorite attributes of these scenes. Another prompt change. Lovely. More variations from this set. Camera lenses all over the place. Very sharp image, particularly around the face. Unusual outfit. This image and the next image were specified using a skinny torso term in the prompt. A return to peacock feathers in the prompt. Wonderful headdress, and the outfit is perfect. Time for some more experimentation with the prompt. This time, no description of the eyes. We immediately see that the eyes are more set back and less prominent, but it works well in this image. Indeed, the headdress is enormous, massive, and so is the camera. Yet, this is from the same prompt. The eyes are perfect here, even though I specified nothing about the eyes. In this image, I left off the term insanely detailed. That is insanely detailed, perhaps because I'm also using the term detailed photograph. Another from this set. In the next set, I left off the term hyper-realistic. Now we're getting a true full body shot for the first time. Still very much within the same style. A bit overwhelming with that camera and head feathers. We see the art direction drifting away into a different style. These are not as enchanting as the previous series, though still fascinating. But this is really good. Everything is in proportion, very nice composition. I removed the double colons from the prompt. And things got weird. This is horrible. Then I added the double colon back into the prompt just before the term black magic. The result is a very simple shot. With few descriptive terms for the woman, the camera description is given a lot of weight. Indeed, it looks heavy in the image. Another photo from that same set. When Midjourney can do hands very well, then it's going to be really powerful. The fabric is outstanding. Notice the camera strapped around her waist. How you also notice that no one is smiling? For the next image, I added the prompt sly smile. The sly smile didn't do anything for the smile, but again, the fabric is lovely. The headdress is lovely. Of course, I did not even specify a headdress in the prompt. I'm not using the same seed on these images. In most cases, I'm not even re-rolling the images, but it still keeps a very similar style. I'm still suspecting that Midjourney has learned or is tracking the style already created for these images with my prompt and has trained itself to generate images in this style with the lovely fabric, exotic headdress, and fantastic camera. Another from this same set. This does offer a slightly different art style, muted colors, nice dress, but very plain in comparison to what we've seen before. The movie camera is absolutely incredible. And here we are with another image from the same set, but also in a slightly different style. Very realistic except for the hands, and I'm completely ignoring that. Trying a different direction, literally, I wanted to get an image from behind. I went back to my prompt and used from behind at the beginning of the prompt. That did not work. Perhaps there are too many overwhelming words in that prompt, but this is still a lovely image. Again, blue and gold tones. Trying to get a smile out of her with the term wonderful smile and vibrant colors. There we go. We got a smile. I don't like that image. The smile is too much. It is indeed wonderful, as I asked, but it's like he's trying to sell me the camera. I wanted to try a shot from behind again. Here's the prompt. Yes, from behind, but what the heck is that? I love this, but it's so bizarre. Another from that same set, but a profile shot. Very fascinating feathers. I re-rolled for another set. Finally, from behind. Before I go, out of curiosity, I wanted to try the simplest prompt on my other account with Midjourney. Here's what I got. The image in the upper left follows this same style, but the others takes you elsewhere. As I talked about in my video about AI art as an iterative process, if you see a style you like, pursue it, re-roll it, try variations, adjust the prompt. See what you get. Let's leave you with this shot. The hair is magical. I really enjoyed doing this series. I like it. There's something very appealing here. I'm entranced by these images. I am mesmerized. There's a story here. There's something more to be told by these characters. There's a novel. There's a movie within these characters. I want to know their stories.